place in the days of Solomon, the son of King David, by the building structure he completed and built in his 40 years of peace, which his father planned and set materials and things in motion for it. But the Most High said, him being a man of war and having so much blood on his hands, he wasn't going to use him to do it, but he was going to let David's plan go through in the next generation by his son Solomon. So let's look at that. Let's go to 2 Chronicles now. 2 Chronicles. So we see the tabernacle in the wilderness, Shekinah glory. The Most High himself accepted sacrifice by lighting it himself, and everyone being amazed and in fear and awe of the Most High's power. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 5 right quick. And when you get there, everybody, 2 Chronicles 5, we're going to read verse 13 and 14. 2 Chronicles 5, 13 and 14. And I just want to say, by the way, that the children of Israel in the wilderness built this by the commandment of the Most High. The children of Israel built that tabernacle by the commandment and the pattern of the Most High. Now, 2 Chronicles 5 and verse 1, and I'm going to skip to 13. Thus, all the work that Solomon made for the house of the Lord was finished. And Solomon brought in all the things that David his father had dedicated, and the silver and the gold and all the instruments put he among the treasures of the house of God. Okay, now skip down to verse 13. It came even to pass, as the trumpeters and singers were as one, to make one sound to be heard in praising and thanking the Lord. And when they lifted up their voice with the trumpets and cymbals and instruments of music, and praised the Lord, saying, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever, that then the house was filled with a cloud, even the house of the Lord, so that the priests could not stand to minister by reason of the glory of the Lord, for the glory of the Lord hath filled the house. Now, chapter 6 and verse 1. Then said Solomon, the Lord hath said he would dwell in the thick darkness. So this cloud is symbolic of this thick darkness, this thing that actually, if you will, hides in some way from us being able to see the full glory of the Most High. Like he told Moses in Exodus, a man shall not look upon my face and live. You cannot see my glory. Okay, so here we have, now you got a new building to replace the tent. This big structure, beautiful and gigantic. And when they finished it all and they singing and praising as one, the Most High Shekinah glory appears. And the priest couldn't enter in, just like Moses couldn't even enter in when the same thing happened when he had finished dedicating the tabernacle to the Most High. Built by the hands of the children of Israel, once again, now a more magnificent and glorious structure after the mind of men. But the Most High did bless it and accept it. And his glory has filled the place. Now let's go over to chapter 7. Same book. Chapter 7, verse 1. Now, when Solomon had made an end of praying, so Solomon dedicates and prays to the Most High. His glory is on the house. They all outside it at the altar. It says Solomon was on his knees and said this prayer that we would have read, but I'm not reading it. Read that on your own. Now when Solomon had made an end of praying, the fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices, and the glory of the Lord filled the house. Once again, a fire coming from the Most High, coming from the cloud, and it says heaven. Now, if you want to say it came way from outer space, then you prove that. But it came from the sky. The glory of the Most High, that cloud, I believe it came the same way it came when he did it from Moses. That cloud and that thick darkness, the fire came out of that thing. And if you confuse, go back and read, I believe it could be the Psalm 78 that gives the account, or it could be in Exodus, but we know that the Most High came down on the mountain, right? But it says that when he spoke to the children of Israel, said God spoke to him from heaven. He spoke to him from high above the people. His cloud and his glory and the thunder and the lightning up on the mountain, and he spoke from heaven. He spoke from a high place, because if you look up heaven in the Hebrew, it means high place. It don't just mean way off in outer space or way up in the sky in the atmosphere, but just high above the people. Even the mind is spiritually called heaven. But if you didn't know that, then you need to do some studying. Now, here we got the fire coming from heaven, consuming the burnt offering and sacrifices, and the Shekinah glory filling the house. And the priest could not enter into the house of the Lord because the glory of the house of the Lord had filled the Lord's house. That is the Lord's house, built by the hands of the children of Israel, and his glory, and he accepts the sacrifice, and his glory fills the place. So I'm convinced, nowhere else on earth is the house of the Lord located except in that building at that time, besides the people who are called the house of the Lord as well. Now, and when all the children of Israel saw how the fire came down and the glory of the Lord upon the house, they bowed themselves with their faces to the ground upon the pavement. See, it said the fire came down and the glory upon the house. See, it is what it is. But it says they bowed themselves with their faces just like their fathers did back in the wilderness, with their faces to the ground upon the pavement, and worshipped and praised the Lord, saying, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. And the king and all the people offered sacrifices before the Lord. So once again, I know this is the house of the Most High. This is truly at that time his temple. Just like at that time his temple or tabernacle was that place that Moses and the children of Israel completed according to the pattern he showed them. Shekinah glory filling the place. He takes it and accepts it, and even showed them by fire coming from him and consuming all the burnt sacrifices and everything on the altar. All right? So what we see here, brothers and sisters, is the tabernacle, and then we see the first temple or stone and wood structure that was built. Now we know that through the process of time, the children of Israel got themselves in trouble. Got put out the land the first time. The 12 tribes were put out by the Assyrians, and eventually, almost a century later, Judah found himself getting put out by Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. But here we are, the children of Israel are let go after the Babylonian captivity back to the land. Let's go to the book of Ezra, chapter 6. Let's go to Ezra, chapter 6. And let's read what Ezra the scribe and the priest have recorded. Ezra chapter 6, starting at verse 15. And this house was finished on the 3rd day of the month Adar, which was in the 6th year of the reign of Darius the king. And the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites, and the rest of the children of the captivity kept the dedication of this house of God with joy, and offered at the dedication of this house of God 100 bullocks, 200 rams, 400 lambs, and for a sin offering for all Israel 12 he-goats according to the number of the tribes of Israel. And they set the priests in their divisions and the Levites in their courses for the service of God, which was at Jerusalem, as it is written in the book of Moses. Now the sign was they were let go out of captivity, as was prophesied by the prophet Jeremiah. Okay, and also Daniel understood that they were going to leave as well. The Most High revealed some things to him. This is it actually happening. They went through a lot of trial and tribulation, but they went ahead and they kept on trucking. And brothers and sisters, they built and they finished this according to the commandment of the God of Israel. Let us just skip back up right quick earlier in the chapter to verse 14 and look at this. And the elders of the Jews builded, and they prospered through the prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Iddo. And they built it and finished it according to the commandment of the God of Israel, and according to the commandment of Cyrus and Darius and Artaxerxes, king of Persia. So here, Ezra is letting you know it was the Most High will that the children of Israel, coming out of captivity, were to rebuild this house again. And I heard some teachers say, look, if the temple wasn't built again, it had to be a temple standing for Christ to come. Now, this is the same line of thinking when they try to teach about this man of sin, because they read in 2 Thessalonians something about a temple and him sitting and calling himself God, showing himself he God. So they like, look, a temple got to be built. Now, my thing is this. All through the prophets so far, we've seen the tabernacle, the temple, and the temple rebuilt. This is the same temple that Christ came unto. This is the same temple that Herod built up the precincts and everything around it more and made it one of the wonders of the world in their generation.